I asked you all to submit me your design portfolios, and I went through a bunch of them and highlighted some of my favorites. And in this video, we're going to be diving deeper into some of those. Let's get into it. So this first one is Benny Mutiba. First of all, I really like how this is laid out. I like the style when something has that left column and then on the right, you have all the different projects. So from like an actual portfolio design standpoint, I feel like this one's pretty cool. Can't go wrong with just the plain black and white with a nice sans serif like that. Over here on the left, it looks like you have a bunch of the different projects, the info, email, Instagram. This arrow style, it's kind of like that wayfinding signage, like airport, you know, Swiss design aesthetic that I think is really cool. The coming soon, I don't really know if that's necessary, especially because you have just as many right here as the actual overview. So it's a little bit distracting. It would look a lot cleaner if you just had the projects you already have in here, and the ones that are coming soon, that's just kind of for you to know, I think. This same function of like the lines right here with the different projects, it's a little bit more confusing when you have it laid out like this. It's kind of distracting having all the lines, if I'm being honest. This looks pretty cool, like at least for the most part, pretty well thought out. You have the different artists, stuff they could post on Instagram and posters, some lineup stuff, like it all feels very cohesive and like a nice brand, and I like the choice of type that you used. And I mean, it's a legit project, so we see actual images here. Since this project actually happened, it looks like these, from my understanding, are real pictures from the event. I would like to see more of the actual images from the poster from the event, not just the mock-ups. But if you don't have them, that makes sense too. Take a look at some other stuff. All right, a few different projects. I'm trying to see which one I want to dive into. That's a cool little logo. Looks like you got some more branding stuff down here. And then at the top, it's getting a little bit more into event design. Conceptual experimental event posters inspired by the song Baha'i by, I don't even know, Netherlands. Let's see. I like this bit mapping thing. This is a pretty cool little series, but if I'm being honest, it doesn't feel very fleshed out. This feels like a one-off little poster thing that you could put in a collection of a bunch of other stuff, not like a dedicated project, whereas this one feels a lot more thought out. And one thing I always think about portfolios is you want each project to be just as good as the last. The thing is, if someone stumbles upon your portfolio, you don't want them to accidentally look at the thing that isn't the best. So you want to think about it when you put stuff in order that way. I think that there's a good start and you have some cool projects in here and some good taste, but you want to get more fleshed out projects that have a lot more like involved in them, like this one. Or just put this smaller stuff in a collection in one project page called like experimental posters or whatever you want to call it. All right, on to the next one. All right, TannerWalsh.design. So this is one of my homies, Tanner Walsh, full transparency. Just wanted to throw that out there. Shout out Perfect Dark. I like this laid out on the left with the different stuff. It's similar to how I lay out my own personal portfolio. I don't really like the services right here, if I'm being honest. It's kind of distracting, and this is bold services, but then all these are bold too. So it just looks like a big block of kind of bold bullet points, which I think is a little bit weird to have right there. I would personally move this somewhere else in the about page or something like that. Let's see. That's kind of cool. I think it's cool to have some kind of images like this of just some random stuff to make it feel more personal. I was at this rave right here, which is kind of funny. So let's start with the Perfect Dark. I think this is a pretty good project. Shout out the crew of DJs. You probably see me in a couple of videos wearing this exact shirt. I think this is one of the most fleshed out projects that you got in your portfolio, and I think it's really good, and you want to have stuff more like this that you can showcase. That's an entire system. Tons of cool posters, album art, a bunch of stuff. I really liked this one, the Operation Texas. I think this is like a great portfolio project and something that'll definitely get you more work in this type of field. I know you guys are cooking up some more stuff, so I'd like to see that added in there as well. All right. We are here. This looks like a little bit more of like a corporate project. I don't know if it's my monitor size or something, but I would take a look into the full width you have for this stuff, and so that you don't have all this weird negative space right here. Make these images landscape and kind of center this like full bleed. but it could just be because I'm working on a bigger monitor, but I would focus on making sure that's all optimized in the sizing and everything. This is pretty clean. I think I remember him talking that this is some kind of branding for this cancer nonprofit. Yeah. This is a pretty clean brand identity. It does make me feels more comfortable and approachable and something that's like medical, but the color does make it have a little bit more life in it than the typical dark reds and greens and kind of medical colors that you see in this type of niche. Bunch of infographics and stuff. Obviously not the most exciting type of design that we get into sometimes, but it seems like a pretty good project and fit the brief for what you're trying to work on. But yeah, same with the, like I said, the negative space. I like this animated thing you have in the background, but I would like to see these laid out. Either make these on a grid of 2 and lay it out that way, or fix the spacing on the side here. So omit and CCs. I know this is another type of music thing similar to Perfect Dark. I feel like it's a pretty cool brand system, but I would also like to see more stuff in here, like the other posters you've done for them, or just flush it out more because it feels a little bit empty for being a full-on project. Same with the CCs, so I'd look at both of those. But this one seems like once this actually comes into fruition and isn't just mock-ups and stuff, you'll have a lot more packaging and images from events that they throw and things to put in here. But I really like this. I mean, I love the like ode to Pac-Man with the little olives and the red and green, that classic Italian colors. I think this is a really good start, and this project's probably going to turn into something cool with this actual project doing a bunch of stuff. I think this portfolio with the aesthetic that you have too would look a little bit better being in like a dark mode, like this exact layout, but reversed with the blackish gray background and light white type, or light gray type rather. Cool. On to the next one. Right off the bat, I like this. I like the style of having this. This is very like a tech style. Obviously this seems leaning more towards product design type stuff, multidisciplinary design. But I really like when you have a about me page like this with just different little hotkeys that you could click into. What does this pop punk go to? Emo night? Oh yeah, he's got the classic emo bangers in here. See, that's pretty cool. That shows your personality outside of just being, you know, all about design all the time. I mean, I like this picture is dope too. And it looks like you got some pretty legit projects in here. This might be the most professional and like full-on industry portfolio I've seen in any of these type of reviews. And let's take a look at this one since you have it at the top. To be 10-year anniversary design. So it looks like you're the art director here. Cool little branding for it. This is cool as like a little logo, but I'd like to see the whole project. I don't know if it's not showing up or it's just that for now, but it seems like there's other assets and stuff that could be brought into it. Rivian GTM launch branching, senior brand designer. Okay. This seems pretty cool if you did the branding around all this stuff. Touch up paint. That's dope. That's a cool, like, random little product to get to design. That's very specific, but I like it. Water bottle. This seems like a pretty cool, thought out project as well. But a lot of the images, I know that this is what is the product, Rivian, but it does seem a little bit driven towards the car itself rather than the graphics. To be screen time, email campaign. That's pretty cool. I like this aesthetic. It's that very bright and saturated look. Got some cool kind of graphics, entire system. I like this one. It is a little confusing when the stuff pops up like that. I know people like to add the animations, but sometimes I get lost. Like, I don't know if I should keep scrolling or not because stuff's not popping up right away. There's a lot of projects in here. It's almost a little bit overwhelming considering there's a lot of projects and when you click on them, there's not a lot to look through. I think there could be a better way of laying that out. And some of these aren't clickable, it seems, which is also confusing to know how to navigate this. Let's take a look at this Yeti one. Custom Yeti for Luke Combs. It's pretty cool. You got to do this whole brand system for this. Bunch of little badges and everything. That seems like a fun project. Yeti's always doing cool collabs and stuff. This is nice. They do yeah, the main thing I'd like to see is just, I think the site design looks pretty and everything, and it's a really cool, like it grabbed my attention, but I would want to know how to navigate this section better, like the actual user experience of it. So speaking of that Yeti, they did the Liquid Death casket, which was pretty crazy. So they did this, they auctioned off this casket. Liquid Death did a collab with Yeti. I thought that was a pretty crazy like marketing stunt, something that Mischief would do. Ryan Henson, graphic and type design. This is a pretty, I like this clean layout, and I like the timer on top for some reason. Cool. Little simple thing. I like this style when stuff's not completely lined up in a grid, and it kind of has that with the white, this kind of off-white background too. It feels good, like a lot of negative space, and this feels really nice to scroll through and look at. This is dope, that candle. I don't know. Internship work in collaboration with Premium Packaging Design Agency. This stuff's cool. I really like the style of that. So it looks like you got a bunch of cool custom typography stuff. This really, before I dive into this really reminds me of this designer that I really like that I follow on Instagram, Anna Mills. Super dope. If you haven't followed them too, I recommend checking it out. They do a bunch of dope custom type like this, like animated letters and things. I really like looking at their stuff. So let's get back into this. High t-shirt. This is cool. I really like this style of photography with the high flash, and so I know it's like very trending right now, but I think it's a cool aesthetic. It makes it feel more personable than that overly produced like soft lighting studio stuff. No new vintage. I really like this. I love I know everyone's been doing it, and it's kind of almost becoming another trend you see all over Instagram, but the simple frame by frame animations and getting that extra texture in there with the scans, I love it. If you like this stuff, I'm not sure if you know them as well, Ryan, but I would definitely check out that person, Anna, that I mentioned. They do a bunch of cool stuff like this. Typographic motion experiment with negative space. Yeah, this is really fun. I love the letter forms here with the kind of really classic Helvetica or like sans serif like that with the cool experimental type laid over it. This is a really cool project. I would love to see, I know this is something I've been saying so far in the video, but I would love to see this built out even more into like a giant project of a bunch of stuff that I could look at, because it's a good problem because I want to see more. Analog alphabet. Wow, see, this is really impressive. You could even do more zoomed in animated versions of each of these or something. This looks like a lot of work, so super impressive. It looks like, I feel like you have a very specific style and niche with the handwritten typography and that analog style animation that you could really make a name for yourself by leaning into this and becoming someone that people come to for that one specific style. Holiday poster. These are dope. Oh, this is from Dreyfus. She did an art challenge, it sounds like. Shout out them. Super cool. Had them on the pod back in the day, and they do super dope artwork as well. You know, I just gotta take a break to shout out people that come to the mind when stuff like this pops up. I really like this illustration style. I would love to see more of this in the portfolio as well. This is dope. Something about this, like the simple typographic layout, you didn't have to put too much effort into that type once you locked it in for this specific series, and you get to really focus on the illustration work. This Jello casserole, I love this. Love the home body. Super cool illustration here as well. This is a really dope style. Mixing this too with that custom typography that you do and stuff, I think you could really come up with some cool shit, man. Really cool. I like this a lot. All right. Manas Trivedi, graphic designer based in Dublin, Ireland. So it looks like we got all the projects laid out here. Super simple. Not messing around with a bunch of animation and stuff. Just nice, clean portfolio. Manaceto. Oh, yeah. I remember this guy does a lot of the kind of bubble typography and stuff like that as well on Instagram. So I saw this when I first wrote down the portfolios I wanted to review, and I thought it was really cool. Shout out Lando Norris from the Formula One. This seemed like a really dope project. Got to do a bunch of cool custom typography. Cool exploration. For this type of stuff, I actually like seeing the exploration and things beforehand to make it feel like a more built out project. So it looks like we got some custom type and this helmet that's supposed to resemble like a beach ball. That's so dope. Whoever thought of that idea, if this was your idea for the project as well, not just the typography, good shit. Or if not, shout out whoever came up with that. Beach ball bell helmets. That's dope. And it looks like we got a whole system here. We have Nalgene. Love how the screen print looks on the Nalgene bottle. That has to be one of the coolest things that people have been doing the last 5-10 years, from places like Online Ceramics, Brain Dead, sports companies, whatever. Love that orange too. This is a really dope project. Congrats to get to work on this. I love the photos and everything. Okay, yeah, helmet design, MDM Designs. Shout out them. And then good shit on the typography. This is cool. Herman Miller. Shout out the homies over at Herman Miller. Sitting in my Aeron right now. I really like this. I love the clean, simple, grotesque sans serif typography with a bunch of little stuff laid on top of it like this. Very blueprint-esque, mechanical. I like the contrast. This is cool. I love seeing like this wireframe aesthetic for the Herman Miller chairs. I'm not sure what this was, if this was a legit project you did for them or a self-initiated, but regardless, even if this is just an ode to that company, I love this. Great typography. Love the simple black and white, the wireframes, good spacing and everything. This is a beautiful project. If I saw something like this and I was looking to get a magazine design done, editorial design for a product, for a brand, clothing, whatever, this would definitely catch my eye and get me excited about working. The most of the best for the least. Got that Eames chair, shout out. I love the light gray on top of the white, where it's same with the dark gray on top of the black, like that really low contrast almost blends in but still kind of pops out at the same time somehow. Dope. I love this project. I mean nothing I could even say bad about it. Really cool. This is just probably general lettering. Yeah, a bunch of random stuff. This is the stuff I'm used to seeing from you, I believe, on Instagram. Custom type. Ooh, I really like this kind of black letter stuff. That's clean. I would love to see more of this in contrast with some of the more, but I'm not a big fan of the bubble type and stuff, if I'm being honest. And this script too, this is really clean too. I would lean a little bit more into the script and stuff if you have a liking for that, of course. If you don't, fuck it, don't listen to me. Love the Lando Norris, love the Herman Miller project, super cool. Joel Brevig, this is the last portfolio we're looking at. Graphic designer from Cindy and working on Gadigal Land. This looks cool. I really like this aesthetic, that kind of analog, scanned, experimental, mixed media type stuff. I know a lot of people are doing stuff like that these days, but when it's done well, it looks super clean. T-shirt design. Oh, this is a whole thing. So these are a bunch of designs for this label Vacid. This is cool. I personally like this more as just a graphic than on the shirt. Even just that type down there is cool. Love this. Love this little frog. This is cool too. Reminds me a lot of stuff that like Babylon and Pleasures does. This is dope. Love to see when more of these come through too. I think that this seems like a really cool client and someone who lets you do fun experimental stuff. So I'd keep running with that. Mixed media album rollout. Really good texture and color here. I like this. Ooh, I love this type too. And this kind of, what do you call it? Ink splattery, like negative photo aesthetic right here with that type up top. I really like how all this looks. I clicked on this one just because I like this blue type right here. Logo assets, drawing upon initial design language. So this is just a bunch of exploration for this brand, it looks like. I really like this lockup, this Baufman kind of, you could tell it has a lot of that printed texture and almost cut out style that I really like too. This is a really dope logo. Love this font here. It feels like a Neuhaus Grotesque condensed with the ink bleed or stretched out that I really like. But it also has this square edge to it. That looks cool. This beveled edge. That's some nice type right there. Baufman. This is a cool system to just inject other pieces of photo and stuff with that lockup at the bottom under it. Let's do one more. This is a fire poster. I love this. Very experimental. Love the color. Love the texture. The scan looks really nice. Shit always looks dope when you have the Japanese characters on it. I mean, obviously it's in Japan, so you're gonna, but when you view letter forms and characters in another language that you don't speak, it really makes them feel like that type is texture and aesthetic, and you're not distracted by the meaning of it. You get to just appreciate the actual layout of the type. Ooh, this is clean. Yeah, I think would love to see more of this record stuff in here too. Love this type right here and this layout. I like how you have this diamond on the outside, like everything kind of, your eye follows it around like that. And it also follows it around in the inside. It's like the big triangle with the Gracie to there, to there, to there. Then you have it on the inside as well. Super good intentional typography there. Sweet. So this Instagram button doesn't work. I would fix that. But other than that, I think you got a lot of cool stuff in this portfolio, and I'm sure it's only going to get better. So good stuff. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.